Imagine something we all use pretty much every single day. Something designed to make life easier, more connected, better, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, imagine that same tech being weaponized in a really insidious way, leading to this rapidly escalating global threat.
It's happening.
We're talking about AI and its shocking speed, its sophistication. It's fueling this new, incredibly dangerous wave of crime.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a stack of recent reports, research documents, really trying to unpack an incredibly disturbing trend: AI-powered sextortion scams.
It's a tough topic, but really important.
It is. Our mission in this deep dive is to truly understand the anatomy of these scams. You know, who's being targeted, what's the global reach of the criminals behind them.
And crucially, what you can actually do.
Exactly. What you can do to protect yourself and anyone you care about. This isn't just some grim news item. It's a critical new frontier in online safety.
Definitely.
Gaining this knowledge is essential for navigating, well, the world we live in now. So let's start digging in.
Okay. Well, I think what's fundamentally new and really alarming here is how AI has completely redefined what sextortion even means.
How so?
It's no longer just about, criminals getting hold of explicit content a victim might have shared somewhere.
Right. That was the old model, sort of.
Exactly. The game has changed. Now it's about creating that content, fabricating it, making it appear terrifyingly real, even when it never, ever existed.
That's chilling.
It is. And this isn't just a technical leap, It fundamentally erodes the very idea of visual evidence. It challenges our basic trust in what we see online.
That distinction is absolutely critical. So at its core, AI-powered sextortion. It's a form of digital exploitation where cyber criminals use artificial intelligence.
Right, things like deepfake algorithms, generative AI.
To create these highly convincing but totally fake explicit images or videos of victims.
Yeah, and those fakes are then used for blackmail.
Yeah.
Often with, devastating consequences.
And the scale, I mean, the numbers we're seeing are they're exploding, aren't they?
They really are. Reports indicate a staggering 137% increase in the risk of being targeted, just in the U.S., in the first few months of 2025.
137%.
Wow. And if you look at, say, Gen's Q2 threat report for 2025, it documented a 100% increase in these scams during that single quarter alone.
A doubling in 3 months.
And for a broader look, the FBI noted a massive 322% increase in nationally reported cases between February 22 and February 23.
So this isn't some slow burn.
It's a wildfire, absolutely.
Okay. Given those alarming numbers, how exactly is AI making these tactics so potent? What are the actual mechanisms making these scams so effective and, frankly, terrifying?
Well, one of the most chilling ways is through deepfake generation.
Okay.
Criminals use AI to basically superimpose a victim's face onto existing explicit imagery. Or, and this is really insidious, they can nudify innocent photos.
Nudify, you mean take a normal photo?
Yeah, one scraped right from your social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever. They use AI to alter it into something explicit.
And these look real.
Often indistinguishable from real footage or photos. And that drastically ramps up the psychological pressure because the victim often looks at it and they can't even be sure it is fake.
Oh, man. And I heard it goes beyond just still images now.
It does. That's where it gets really unsettling. Scammers are using AI to generate fake audio, even fake video calls.
Video calls? Seriously?
Yeah, they can impersonate loved ones, authority figures, even company executives, all to increase the pressure, make the threat seem incredibly legitimate.
Imagine getting a call, and it sounds exactly like your boss, but it's an AI demanding money or something.
It's happening. And what's particularly invasive is how they combine these digital fakes with real-world info.
Like what?
Well, a really disturbing tactic involves using readily available tools like Google Maps and Street View to get images of a victim's home.
No way.
Yes. And then they include those images in the threatening messages.
Yeah.
It creates this chilling sense of immediate danger, like they're watching you right now.
So they're basically creating this hyper-personalized threat package.
Precisely. They combine that visual threat, here's your house, with stolen personal data. Names, addresses, maybe passwords from past data breaches.
To make it all seem incredibly credible.
Exactly. And this raises a really crucial point about accessibility.
Yeah.
You might think, oh, this must require sophisticated hackers.
Yeah, you'd assume so.
But that's just not the case anymore.
Really? That's worrying.
It is. The barrier to entry for these criminals is shockingly low. Open source AI models, cloud-based services.
Yeah.
They're so accessible now,
Meaning,
meaning even pretty non-technical individuals can produce quite convincing fake content, sometimes within minutes.
wow. So it completely removes that old need for the victim to have, actually shared something explicit themselves.
Right. Which widens the net of potential victims
Mhm.
exponentially. It truly means anyone, absolutely anyone, can be targeted.
Okay. So speaking of victims, you said anyone can be targeted, but are there groups that are particularly vulnerable?
Yes. While anyone can fall prey, the data shows teenagers and young adults are particularly vulnerable. The statistics are, well, they're heartbreaking.
They really are. I saw some numbers. A significant surge in cases involving minors. Pennsylvania State Police reported over 3,000 minors targeted in 2022 alone.
That's right. And primarily boys, aged 14 to 17.
And the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, they're reporting that about 1 in 10 sextortion cases now involve deepfakes.
Yes, images the victim never actually took or shared. It just highlights how pervasive this new AI tactic has become.
So how does the initial contact usually happen? Where are these scammers finding victims?
Often through seemingly normal places. Dating apps, social media platforms, even gaming environments. They use AI-generated profiles or bots to start conversations and build trust.
Bots. So you might be talking to an AI.
You might be. These bots can seem normal at first, but you might spot subtle red flags. Repetitive phrases, maybe overly flattering language that just feels a bit off, not quite natural.
Okay. And the psychological toll on victims, especially the young ones, it must be immense.
Oh, profound. We're talking significant anxiety, this crippling fear of exposure, often intense self-blame.
Even though it's not their fault at all.
Absolutely not. But they feel it. And in extreme cases, it leads to depression, even suicidal ideation.
And the realism of the AI fakes must make it so much worse.
It intensifies everything, especially when the fabricated content includes identifiable features, maybe a tattoo or a birthmark. It makes it feel undeniably real to the victim, increasing that pressure immensely.
Which brings us to the devastating human cost. I read about the case of Elijah Heacock.
A truly tragic story. A 17-year-old boy died by suicide after getting a threatening text. It included an AI-generated nude image of him demanding $3,000.
Just awful.
It is. And his case really spurred national attention, advocacy for stronger legal protections.
Yeah.
But the FBI estimates at least 20 young people have died by suicide because of sextortion since 2021.
20.
It's a horrific number. And it really underlines why understanding this threat and talking about it is so vital. It also raises a tough question.
Yeah.
Why aren't more people reporting these crimes?
I imagine the fear, the shame, especially for teens.
Exactly. The immense fear of reputational damage, particularly among adolescents, makes victims incredibly reluctant to report, which unfortunately just allows these perpetrators to operate with more impunity.
And we should be clear, this isn't just the work of isolated individuals anymore, is it? There's a bigger picture here.
Absolutely. This isn't just about lone wolves. AI sextortion is increasingly being conducted by organized crime groups.
Organized crime.
Really?
Yes. Interpol's 2025 cyber threat report actually identified Nigeria as a major hub for these AI-powered scams. Groups like Black Axe are turning this into multi-million-dollar enterprises across West Africa.
Wow. Multi-million-dollar.
Yeah. Digital sextortion across African member countries has seen something like a 60% increase. And it's not just there. Look at the UK. Senior police officials are warning that AI is being exploited across a huge spectrum of crime, including
the horrifying creation of thousands of synthetic child abuse images. There was the case of Hugh Nelson, jailed for 18 years in 2025.
I remember reading about that.
For offering AI-generated child abuse images online. It's a really stark example of organized crime leveraging this tech for the worst possible ends.
So for you, the listener, this means you're not just potentially up against some lone scammer in his basement. You could be facing highly sophisticated, well-funded criminal organizations.
That's the reality.
Right.
Which brings us to the money side. How are they actually monetizing this? And how hard is it to trace?
Right, the financial infrastructure.
Well, these are, at their core, financially motivated crimes. The demands are typically made in cryptocurrency at today.
Bitcoin is common
Why crypto?
because they can leverage these pseudonymous financial systems. Crypto exchanges often have weak or sometimes non-existent know your customer KYC compliance.
Meaning they don't really check who's using them properly.
Mhm.
Right. It helps obscure identities, makes it easier to launder the money. Blockchain analysis has actually revealed over 15,000 unique Bitcoin wallets just associated with those Google Maps-based sextortion scams we mentioned.
15,000 wallets. That suggests huge scale.
Huge scale, large operations, definitely coordination.
So this combination, generative AI plus anonymous payment methods, it's basically, as one expert put it, industrialized sextortion.
That's a good way to put it. It's become a kind of mass production model for crime. Low cost for them, potentially high yield, terrifyingly efficient.
And it's important to remember, AI's use isn't limited just to explicit content fakes, right? It's broader financial fraud, too.
Absolutely. This versatility is key. Think about this. A French broadcaster lost 830,000 euros. Scammers use AI to mimic actor Brad Pitt's likeness and voice.
Brad Pitt, seriously.
Seriously. Or an even bigger one that really shows the scale. The finance worker at a multinational firm was tricked into transferring HK $200 million. That's about $20.5 million. An AI-generated video call with convincing impersonations of senior company executives. It just demonstrates the frightening adaptability of these AI tools for all kinds of extortion.
It's just mind-boggling. Okay, so given this rapid evolution, AI in the hands of criminals, the obvious question is, how are law enforcement and our legal systems keeping up? Or are they?
Well, frankly, it's a significant struggle. Law enforcement agencies worldwide are really scrambling to keep pace with how fast AI-driven sextortion is evolving.
And once that fake content is out there?
That's a huge problem. Once fabricated explicit content gets disseminated online porn sites, social platforms, wherever, it becomes incredibly difficult, sometimes almost impossible to completely remove. That leads to really long-term harm for victims.
That's awful. And I imagine there are big legal and ethical gaps when tech moves this fast.
Definitely. As of 2025, many countries still lack specific laws that address deepfakes or AI-generated sexual content, especially when it involves adults.
Like the example you mentioned.
Nigeria's Cybercrime Act, for instance, doesn't have specific provisions for these AI-generated likenesses. And enforcement gets hampered by jurisdictional issues. Where did the crime happen? Where's the criminal? Plus, the anonymous nature of crypto makes tracing funds really hard.
So what are experts calling for?
Well, people like Amanda Maniam from Equality Now, John Sheehan from NCMEC, they're strongly advocating for proactive legislation, laws that try to anticipate future AI developments, and also pushing for safety by design in AI development itself.
Building safety in from the start makes sense.
Yeah.
But there is some movement on the legal front, especially in the U.S., isn't there? Some positive steps.
Yes, definitely. There are crucial steps being taken. The Take It Down Act, signed on May 19, 2025, it's significant.
What does it do?
It established the first federal criminal penalties specifically for distributing non-consensual explicit imagery. And importantly, that includes AI-generated deepfakes.
Okay, that's key.
And it also mandates swift takedowns by online platforms.
That's
That gives victims a powerful tool.
good. Anything else?
There's also the FTC's impersonation rule. That became effective in April 2024. It prohibits falsely posing as a business or a government entity using AI-generated content.
Ah, so tackling those fake executive calls, for example.
Exactly. And it comes with hefty fines up to nearly $54,000 per incident. So these are positive developments, for sure. But the tech is still moving incredibly fast, and criminals are constantly adapting.
Okay, so with all this in mind, we'll bring it back to the listener. What does this all mean for you? What tangible steps can people take to protect themselves and others from this new wave of sophisticated scam?
Right, the practical stuff.
Yeah, and maybe the first, most crucial piece of advice we distilled from all these sources is do not pay the ransom.
Absolutely critical. Most attempts are actually bluffs.
Yeah.
They might not even have the content they claim, or they can't distribute it widely.
Right.
And paying often just leads to repeated escalating demands. You become a known paying target.
So resist the urge to pay. What else? Digital hygiene seems paramount.
It really is. Immediately change your passwords, especially for important accounts like email and social media.
Yeah.
Use strong, unique passwords.
Get a password manager, maybe?
Definitely recommended. And enable multi-factor authentication, MFA, on absolutely everything you can. That extra layer is huge.
And thinking about those scrape photos, limiting social media exposure.
Yes. Restrict your profile visibility, make things private or friends only where possible, and maybe review your photos, remove anything that's overly personal or potentially revealing.
Okay. And a simple physical tip.
Install physical camera covers on your devices, laptops, phones. It prevents unauthorized webcam access, just in case malware gets through.
Good idea. And being generally cautious online.
Be extra cautious with friend requests or messages from strangers. Or accounts that seem like bots remember those repetitive phrases, the overly flattering language we mentioned. Huge red flags. Trust your gut if something feels off.
What's encouraging, though, is that AI isn't just a weapon for the criminals, right? It's also being used for defense.
Exactly. That's the flip side. Security firms are actively fighting back, using AI-powered solutions.
Like what kind of tools?
Tools like Norton Genie, Avast Scam Guardian, Trend Micro Scam Check, they're specifically designed to detect and block scam communications across calls, texts, websites.
How do they work?
They use AI to analyze behavioral patterns, message content, network activity, basically looking for the telltale signs of these scams, including sextortion attempts. They try to flag it before it even reaches you. Provides a vital layer of protection.
Okay, but what if, despite all precautions, someone does become a victim? Or they think they might be?
Reporting is absolutely crucial. Please don't suffer in silence. Report incidents to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, that's IC3, or the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov, or, of course, your local law enforcement.
And are there specialist organizations that can help?
Yes, definitely. Organizations like Digital Forensics Corps offer things like 247 helplines, dark web monitoring to see if content appears, help with identifying perpetrators through IP tracking sometimes, and crucially, content takedown assistance.
Getting that fake content removed.
Exactly. And finally, public awareness is just vital. We need parents, educators, everyone talking to young people about online safety, about the permanence of digital content, and the reality of these sophisticated AI scams. Education is key.
So, wrapping this up, thinking about the broader context, what does this deep dive really reveal?
Well, I think it clearly shows AI has dramatically, fundamentally changed the landscape of sextortion. It's made it more pervasive, more persuasive, and certainly more psychologically damaging than ever before.
And it's not just local, it's global, it's organized.
It's a truly global, organized crime problem that touches pretty much every corner of our digital lives now.
And this is important, while the threat is undeniably real and it can feel daunting,
It can.
vigilance, proactive digital hygiene, knowing where to turn for help. These are powerful defenses. You're not helpless.
Absolutely. Empowerment through knowledge and action is key.
So, as AI continues to evolve, probably at an even faster pace, and that line between what's real online and what's fabricated gets blurrier and blurrier, we're left with a pretty critical question to ponder, aren't we? How do we collectively ensure trust in our online interactions? How do we protect the most vulnerable from this kind of exploitation? What does it truly mean for society when seeing is no longer believing?
A profound question for our times.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Stay safe out there.